I'm Kenny Lowry, and today we're going to take a look at what we're going to call the Spruce 3-stack Waterfall. Now, you might have seen elsewhere on the website the Spruce 2-stack. This is the 3-stack version of that Waterfall. It's basically the same two bottom rocks that are on the Spruce 2-stack, and we've got this additional cap rock here on the top, so there's 3 stacks there. Now, we do have it tilted a little bit here in the back, and I'll show you with the video. You don't have to, but we did tilt that a little bit on this top rock. We have it set up on a 4x4 basin. This is one of those boulders that we're going to recommend for a 4x4 basin, but if you really just don't have the room for that 4x4 basin, you can do a 3x3. You can see the way the water comes out there. It's not real wide. It's not fanning out really wide. Those are adjustments on your end. If you want to do it on a 3x3, you'll be able to do that to make it work, but you may need to do some tilting and things like that on the rock to get that flow restricted where it's only coming in on that 3x3 basin. Another thing to keep in mind, if you're going to do it on a 3x3 basin, the boulder here on the bottom is going to be wider than the basin, so you're going to have it overhang the basin a little bit here on this bottom rock. And when you do that, you always mount your basin at about an inch above grade, so the edge there will kind of teeter-totter on that edge of that basin. You don't want it to do that. So what you'll do is you'll span it. You'll take a rock like this on the outside and a rock like this on the inside, and it'll span over that lip of that basin. And then you'll need to support the rock underneath too, so that you don't have all the weight just on the edges there. So you'll basically put some rocks underneath of it there to raise it up off of that basin there, so since you're spanning over that edge there. It's got a really nice sound to it. It's got a nice plume to it. Keep in mind you want to add that light, that plume light in there. Everybody gets the lighting. That plume light lights up that plume of water, and then the uplight shines and illuminates the face of the rock. Anytime you have this water at night, you're going to have that reflective motion. If there's something to reflect off of, if you have it at trees or walls or things like that, you'll have that motion. It almost kind of looks like fire flickering. It's kind of what it looks like. This is a pretty simple setup. You got your 3 rocks, run your hose up through there. If you're doing the light, you'll kind of run everything up through there at the same time when you're setting this up. We do have installation video over on the info page. That's a general installation video. We do have a more detailed printed installation, but for these rocks, it's kind of the same way they're going to set up. There's some when you're setting it up, you'll have your pump access there, and then your hose, you're just going to take it up through the boulders there. Right now, I'll take a close-up look at it with the camera. One thing I will note about this fountain, and there's another one that does this exact same thing, the Colorado Forgotten Rock does this flashing as it comes over the edge, and this boulder does that too. I think that's the only 2 that do that, the Colorado and this one here. And when I mention that flashing, what I'm talking about is the water when it comes over that upper rock, the one on the top, it comes over in almost like a sheet, and it flashes when it does it, and it's real eye-catching. When I walk out through the gardens here with all these fountains, there's a couple that really catch my eye, and the Colorado is one of them, and this is going to do that same thing. I noticed it. And you never know when you're setting this up if you're going to get that. So when we design these, we don't know until we turn the water on. You can kind of, at years of experience, you can kind of have a feel for the way the water is going to come over, but until you turn that water on, you don't really know. Hopefully you can pick up that sound. Got kind of a running water, almost like a creek sound, I would say. So you can kind of see the colors on that, and you notice it gets wet when it's darker when it's wet. And it is a proprietary finish that we do on these. Remember, this is a GFRC boulder. It's glass fiber reinforced concrete. It's the same material used in zoo exhibits and animal habitats. It has a look, the feel, and texture of real rock at about 1/5 the weight, so it still has weight, but nowhere near as heavy as if it were a real rock. What we're doing is we're taking a real rock and making a mold. That's basically what we're doing, and then we're creating these fountains. I'll go around here to the back. You see there's no water coming out the back here, and you see we did shim it there a little bit because we wanted that tilt a little bit more. You don't have to. We had it set up without it shimmed, and it was fine, but I wanted that water to kind of come out a little more concentrated there, so that's why we shimmed it. You can kind of see get up close here on the texture of these rocks. You can see I put my hand in there. It is rough. Every detail that's on the mother rock is on this rock. So another new design we're always adding If you like what we're doing here, make sure you subscribe to us, hit the like button and notification button, and you'll be notified when we're adding new fountains, which we're always doing.